Right, let's have a look at some new purchases. And I always say I sort of class myself as a plant collector first and gardener second. And when I'm out and about, I see plants, and if I like them, I buy them. These are pretty much multiples for me, bar one. We'll get to that one at the end. But let's just have a look at the three that I've already got in the garden and why I wanted more of them. Well, one obviously comes down to price. If you find stuff you like at the right price and you've got a space for them, why not? But two, you know, if it's a plant you really like and enjoy, why not have multiples? So let's start off anyway with the Sporty Dotty. So I have got one in the garden already. It's not done particularly well this year. I do find the slugs seem to like them. But nevertheless, I'm going to try one in a different spot where I don't get quite so many slugs and snails. And yeah, I think I've got a nice spot in the shade border at the bottom of the garden, which will benefit from a nice foliage plant like this. Again, just nice size, unusual shaped leaves. They can be quite slow growing, and the one I've had for 3 years or so, and this year is smaller than this, so I thought, well, for the sake of a tenner, we'll get another one rather than dig it up and move it and chance sort of setting it back even more. We'll just buy a new one, only $9.99. Feel free to pause and read all the information. So that's the first of the multiples. This one was the second, so this is a Hellerball Hybrid. So again, $9.99. Pause and read if you wish. So again, with the leaves on these, with the Sporty Dotty, obviously that dies down in winter. These are going to be evergreen, so it gives you sort of year-round interest, and plus they sort of flower over the winter period, so that gives you some winter interest on top of the incredible foliage on these really sort of thick, tough leaves. And look at the veining on that. I really do enjoy a leaf like that, and you know they're reasonably sized, good sized leaves, and quite exotic looking. You've got the dark stems. It's look like a sort of apricot cream flower. So yeah, that's always a good little sort of ground cover plant. All right, let's move on to number 3. So this is a fern, obviously. It's a Dryopterus. It's only $6.99, so I thought that's a pretty good price. One of my favourite palms. Pause and read if you wish. So I think this is one of my favourite. Did I just say palms? One of my favourite ferns, because they look like palms. You know, they look like a sort of a sort of palmate leaf. Sort of quite chunky compared to a lot of ferns. Really sort of stiff leaves. The undersides are of interest. Obviously you've got all the spores sort of coming on the leaves there, so obviously not on that one, but on this more mature leaf, absolutely full of spores. So whether that will sort of spread about in time with the spores, I don't know, but either way, this is a one I've got in there, sort of shaded border. It does get a bit of morning sun. It takes that, no problem, and quite hardy. I've had these, you know, evergreen all year round. They don't tend to die back unless you get a really bad winter. I mean, the winter we had just gone, I say just gone, last winter should I say, that stayed evergreen, so I'm going to say they're pretty tough. And yeah, they do sort of give you a different texture of foliage with the crinkly leaves and sort of chunky look to them. Yeah, really like that. So that's definitely worth a multiple plants, and like I say, £6.99. I think that's pretty good price for a decent size fern in a decent size pot. Right, so we're going to come to the last plant now, and unsurprisingly this is one I've not heard of, but I'm sure there's millions of plants I've not heard of, but it's not one I've really seen before. And looking at it, we can see it's a sort of pleated, really glossy leaf, which straight away sort of stood out to me. I'm thinking in my head, sort of looks like a cross between a hosta and a farfugium or something like that. And with leaves like that, you're thinking, yeah, that's evergreen, and it is. So I'll get the tag for you so we can have a closer look at that. So it's at Chatham Island Forget-Me-Not. Well, that's the proper name there. So pause and read if you wish. It says may need protection in harsh winters, but it is evergreen, so you get the forget-me-not like flowers. So they're going to be blue flowers, but I thought, you know, a nice glossy pleated leaf like that, evergreen, sort of semi-shade to shade. I think that's quite nice. You know, these aren't small leaves, they're sort of quite nice and chunky. I'm thinking because they're quite thick, they're going to be fairly resistant to the slugs and snails. We'll see on that one. That was £12.99, but I can see already we've got a small plant coming out the side here, so that is one I will probably divide off before I put it in the ground. But I'm not going to be putting any of these in the ground before winter. I mean, we've just hit October, and I've got ideas where they're going to go, these plants, but I don't think I've got anything to gain by planting them out now, so I will keep them sort of protected in the pots, probably just in an unheated greenhouse over winter, and look forward to get them in the ground next year. Like I say, I've got nothing to gain by putting them in the ground now. The Sporty Dotty will just die back. Saying that, the Hellerball I'll probably put in the ground, obviously, because that's going to give me some over winter colour with the foliage and the flowers. But yeah, the fern and the forget-me-not I won't be putting in the ground. I'll keep them, try and look pristine until next spring when I plant them out. So yeah, 4 plants there, sort of good variety of textures, foliage shapes, colours, patterns, whatever. Good selection, all sort of shadier lichen plants. The Hellerball Hybrid will take a bit more sun. In fact, I've got one in full sun and that's done fine over the summer. So there we go, 4 plants. And if you are growing one of these at the end here, let me know and tell me how they get on over winter. But yeah, stunning, just really glossy foliage. Right, let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.